Hey, Jeffy.
Hey, Jeffy.
Welcome to Hey Julia podcast about Survivor 45. I think, Danielle, it's been a while. How are you?
I'm good. I think we should just cut to the chase. Um,
Okay.
just because the way you open that, and then Brett and I haven't recorded together for a week. We took last week off, and we had to push today. Um, I I I logged on to the application we use to record, and I saw the title was Checking Back In on Survivor 45. And now Brett opens the podcast. Hey, Jeffy, this is a podcast about Survivor. Brett, how
Oh,
many
I'm
episodes of Survivor do you think I watched these past couple of weeks?
I have notes on every single episode of Survivor that we have yet to discuss yet.
Okay.
We have discussed a number of episodes from Survivor 45. There are 3 episodes that we have yet to discuss on these airwaves. Danielle, how many have you seen?
Historically, this has been a podcast about Survivor 45 since Big Brother ended. I watched 1 episode. Hey, that's probably one more than you thought when I asked that question. I watched the most recent episode.
Okay, great. There's no reason to talk about the other ones. They happened so long
Good.
ago. I thought the answer was 0. I thought
No.
I was going to have to carry this
You
pod.
know what, Brett? You know what, though?
Hmm.
It was very close to 0. But I felt so guilty over rescheduling the podcast because we had to reschedule because I was dealing with a child's health issue. So we had to reschedule. And I was like, oh my God, I have this whole extra day. I should watch 1 episode for our Survivor podcast. So I did. I felt so horrible. But even like now this brings me to, so I watched this past week's episode. This season is bad. And this show is no longer good, in my opinion. And I just think we should be honest with ourselves. Okay? I think
Wow.
we should really take a good look at what this show is.
We podcast about Big Brother. Where do you find the nerve to say that Survivor isn't good?
Okay, Philip G says, I just logged into Paramount Plus 10 minutes ago and skipped to the end. Just use my method. Exactly. People just want to skip to the end. They just want to see, all right, who's getting voted off? Survivor's got a lot of issues this season. I think they're really struggling. Thank you, Philip. Philip G says, I didn't watch it and the show is bad. Direct quote from me, Dani. Yeah, I'm just, what can I do? I can't lie. People would see through it. I am so used to being so radically honest that I can't lie and act like I'm enjoying this season just because we happen to have a podcast about the show. I can't do that. I look at my life and I look at how many hours I have a day to watch a show or a movie. It's not a lot. You think I'm going to spend 90 minutes of that time watching Survivor when it's not that interesting and the cast isn't that good and they always do these stupid long like side quests of like math problems? Like, no, I don't want to watch that. I would rather watch The Crown. I would rather watch The Crown with Elizabeth Debicki. So that's just my little rant. I did watch it, and really, Brett, you should think of that as a compliment to you. That is a testament for my love for Brett that I would even watch this past episode because I was like, I can't leave Brett to just talk about all 3 episodes by himself.
I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm not like feeling emotionally like this is the best thing I've ever seen, but I don't know, it's Survivor. It's something else to watch. It's better than Big Brother.
I think, again, this is Philip G in the chat. It's the 90-minute effect. It's too much.
This ain't the Philip G show.
Yeah,
get your own podcast, Philip G.
Ali G, Philip G. They're all related. I totally agree. They're stretching it out, so they have to add all this shit. You really enjoyed that math challenge?
No, I have eaten I've always eaten in the last 8 hours. Like that's just I'm always at a pretty. I'm not like tired. I haven't been sleeping in the woods. I've been eating. I've been drinking. I looked at that thing and I'm like, I don't know how to like. There's no way I would be
Like,
able
I
to do
check
that in
out.
3 minutes. And
Yeah.
these people haven't eaten anything other than an eyeball in the last few weeks.
But it's also like it's not interesting to watch 3 people or however many it was to try to solve a math problem. What am I watching? Are you smarter than a 4th grader? Like, no, that's not why I wanna watch Survivor, to watch people do math problems.
Well, seeing
Sorry.
Emily like completely disintegrate and be like, everyone thinks I'm really smart and good at math because I'm a financial analyst, but I just use spreadsheets.
A financial
Emily
analyst.
is a star. Emily is a star. I
Yeah.
having that woman go from top of the heap to like seeing her life shatter in her eyes like every episode is pretty good TV for me.
I guess. I guess. I mean,
I mean, whatever. I, I'm not here to talk about Emily. I'm not here to talk about Julie. There's a person named Julie on this show.
I do, and you know why? Because I was like, Julie is a Brady all-star.
She is. She fits the mold of a Brady All-Star, but I don't know. I don't think she's like very good at this. I think she's gonna get relatively far in the game and not get a single vote. Like I think she actually had a really interesting opportunity this week to actually kind of coalesce a coalition against D and sort of like begin to flip things on like she's part of this power alliance that's her, Drew, Austin, and D. And everyone like this is kind of we're getting to this point where everyone's like, man, D's pretty good at Survivor. Everyone likes her. So there's a little I felt Julie could have done that. And you could see that kind of is run past her a little bit. Julie is feeling that D is kind of controlling stuff, even in her alliance, and that she's the odd person out. Then flip it. Then flip that shit. And she doesn't because, as I wrote in my notes, I think she's kind of stupid.
I just don't understand. And to be fair, I only watched this week's episode. I didn't watch the last 2. I watched this week's episode and I was like, oh, Caleb's gone. Oh, thank you so much, Joyce, as my soda is chef's kiss. Thank you
Oh
so
my god,
much.
very.
Uniqlo.
It's very Billy Crystal
It
in
is.
some
You're so right.
pills. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I mean,
Can
it's
I
not
just
a
briefly
conditioning.
say, can I just
Yeah.
briefly talk about what has happened in Hey Julie? I have something that I have a topic that I desperately need to talk about
Yeah.
regarding Survivor,
Yes.
but and it ties to Big Brother as well.
Okay.
But just briefly, Sifu, Caleb, and Kelly have all been evicted from the island.
Yeah. Sifu was the
Since
last
you've
one I
watched
saw.
this.
No, I watched the one where Sifu was gone.
Caleb was gone in that episode as well.
Oh, okay. Then I did.
It was a double tribal.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't because I wasn't I know you saw it because I explained that episode to you, I think, when we had sushi like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, so yeah, you see, it's been a while since I've had an interest in Survivor. I just like the show. Even the moments. Oh wait, was there something else? You were like on a tear. You were like gonna go on a tear.
No, you can talk. I
Okay.
have like a real topic that I have like chambered ready to go, but I can dive into that at any time.
Well, even the parts with like Bruce having a sort of like existential crisis, which was narrated very well by Napoleon Dynamite. I thought that was like actually really good, insightful narration that he gave. What's that guy's name?
Mhm. Drew.
True. I thought that was really good of describing how like Bruce is at a potential turning point. Like he can either realize like the way you've been doing things is wrong, you are wrong in the situation and move forward, or live in your fantasy. Like there's reality and there's fantasy. I thought that was such a great way of describing things and like an interesting way of looking at Bruce. But even that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me. I like that kind of character development or character introspection from these people we see because, like, that's the interesting part of Survivor is like you're on an island, maybe your like baser instincts come out, like you're stabbing people in the back, you're strategizing, you're conniving, or like you're so loyal that it becomes a fault, whatever. Like that part is more interesting to me than like them going on a walk through the jungle to get to the puzzle to
I
do
get
the
you. No, I get you.
challenge.
Yeah, there's a bit much of that. There's a bit
Yeah.
much of that. the thing I wanted to talk about is what you brought up. I want to talk about our friend Bruce's mental state.
Mm.
Bruce has been weird this season. Bruce has just been
Mhm.
weird. Like, he comes on, Emily is like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Fuck returners. Um, he's like bossing everybody around. He's like, you're back on my season. And he was literally on his season for 12 hours. And he was like, had a massive concussion for 3 of them.
Yeah.
He's doing jokes, he's doing bits, he's doing noises. And then in this episode, well, Kelly is sent home the previous episode, and it's revealed to him, which is true, that Kelly is like was his closest ally, but Kelly is like everything everyone else says about Bruce is what Kelly was thinking as well, which is like, man, this guy's like doesn't shut the hell up, and he's like a
Yeah.
bit annoying, and he's like overbearing. He just like talks to people like he's their dad and their
Talks at
drill
people.
sergeant and
Yeah.
their like cool cousin or whatever. And it's like
Mhm.
it's like a weird mix. It's like, are you trying to be a leader? Or are you trying to be like my friend? What is it? And Bruce obviously goes in this kind of spiral where he's thinking about this and how much it affects him. He grew up in the foster system. He never knew a home. His home is his family now. Needless to say, Bruce is the cringe king of Survivor this season.
Uh-huh.
And you know who his game is reminding me of? Because he just keeps going to the end. He keeps winning challenges. He won 2 immunities in a row. You know who that reminds me of? The cringe queen of BB25, aka the whiteboard queen of BB25.
Bowie.
Bruce is the Bowie Jane of Survivor 45. He is gonna make it to the end, probably not win. And you know what? I kind of was like, I don't know how I feel about Bruce. Now that I think of Bruce as just like a Bowie
Brucey Jane
incarnate, like a Bowie Jane stereotype,
Brucey Jane.
Brucey Jane,
Yeah.
like Commedia dell'arte, there's like all these different archetypes that people play.
Mhm.
There's the buffoon, there's the fool, there's the this,
Doctor.
there's the that. There's the Bowie Jane archetype.
Yeah.
Bruce is fulfilling the Bowie Jane archetype. And now this is officially, because it is a Bowie Jane podcast, this is a Bruce podcast.
Yeah, and listen, Bruce, yeah, he's got the goods. I mean, he doesn't have the social goods, but he's got the comp winning goods. So I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get rid of him for a while.
Did Bowie have the social goods?
I guess
Everyone was like,
yeah.
don't even nominate her because like we
Yeah.
can't even explain it to her. It would be so much. We literally are in this house with nothing to do, no
Yeah.
phones, no TV, and to even explain to Bowie that she's nominated or whatever is going to be so much work, and we just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's social. I think that's where people are at with Bruce.
I think you might be right. I think that's a good comparison. He's a little more tragic to me than Bowie Jane. Bowie Jane was not tragic. I mean, I guess the way
Yeah.
people thought of her was tragic, but like when she was out of the house, everyone being a hater. But other than that, I think she's like actually doing fine. I think Bruce is gonna have like a midlife crisis once he might be having it currently.
Speaking of, also, I forgot to mention this. Bruce, 47 years old. Bowie Jane, 46 years old.
So close. Yeah, so true.
I'm just saying, like, they're in the same,
yeah,
maybe they're in the same kind of
cohort,
dimension.
age cohort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gen Xers.
Oh my gosh. And
people who saw The Matrix
cohort.
when they were in their 20s.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Who else is on Survivor that's interesting? Are you sad that Kendra's gone? Kendra,
I thought she was a
good.
Yeah, I thought she was a good character this year. I thought she was, but yeah, I mean, she kind of played the end of it. Like it wasn't surprising. People were on, I don't know, people somewhere were like, what a blindside this week. It's like, no, it was like kind of clear it was going to be her.
Nothing's a blindside to me.
Yeah.
Because I have no expectations of this show. But I also don't know how
You're
anyone can
blindsided to learn that people learn their names. You're like, oh shit. It's episode 8.
And his name is Jake.
There's someone, there's a guy named Jake on the show.
It's true. But I just don't understand. Like,
what's Napoleon Dynamite's name? It is not the actor who played Napoleon Dynamite.
I'm just like, I don't think I'm stupid, but, like, I don't understand how
I don't think you are.
I don't think how do people feel blindsided? How does the audience of, like, mostly other than Hey Julie listeners who are obviously above average intelligence, like, the rest
And
of the
attractiveness.
yeah, the rest of the audience watching Survivor, I would imagine are of average intelligence, and yet everyone's like, "Oh, this is a blind side?" How do you know? How do you know from this show that this is a blind side? I have no insight gleaned from this show. Like like nothing, it's not surprising. It's like every vote, I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure. Sure."
No, what like, it's a blind side if someone unexpected goes home or someone who, like, thinks they're leading a coalition is actually being
Yeah.
sent home, but that didn't happen. I mean, Kendra was a good character.
Great
She you know,
character.
she had good and I mean, I think we still got a lot of good characters this year. Every time someone goes home, like, I'm like, okay. Well, I mean,
Oh,
it's
I
like
need
Kelly, it's like, okay, you seem like a nice person, but like, I don't know.
can I
I
get a
you know,
wellness check? Because I haven't
sure.
watched other two episodes. Has Jake collapsed anymore? Is he good?
Um,
How's his health?
I
Like,
think it's all right. Well, his
okay.
his game is his game is somewhat collapsed,
Okay.
but um, I don't know. His game, yeah, but yeah, I think he's fine physically. But yeah,
There
we've
hasn't
had the
been
two.
another incident.
We haven't. Yeah, we've yet to have another incident,
Okay,
and
that's
Kelly the
good.
nurse is no longer there. So
That's good. And in the episodes I missed, did Austin get his sandwich or no?
no, but he did send
Okay.
Kelly home, so now he has a full on immunity idol. There's so
Okay.
much math going on. Speaking of math, like just the math of like who's got idols and stuff. I think Austin has 2 idols.
There's no rhyme or reason to this show. And then they lose their votes. And then it's I'm like I don't know how they decide. They're like, I remember they're like, we have to flush the idol. This is the immunity where we're gonna, I mean, the tribal council where we're gonna flush the idol. I'm like, there's so many idols. What are you talking about? And you don't have a vote. Like, how are you actually gonna do this? The strategy that they're coming up with, I just don't know how they do it. Especially, yeah, like you said, when they're on empty bellies and they're sunburned.
Having a sunburn is like it's just like a very annoying.
It's so annoying. It's so
Do you
frustrating.
think
They're
they get
buggy.
sunscreen?
Well, the other question I had is like, do they have to is wearing glasses, is that like part of their character where they have to wear glasses? Like, could they not switch to contacts? Or if you wear contacts, you have to wear glasses? Because like, how are you going to put them in when your hands are all salty from the sea?
I mean, yeah, I would imagine you've got to be like a glasses girly there. Like you got to wash your hands. You got to have
You know,
this
I wear
screen.
glasses, right? I would have to wear
Yeah.
glasses.
Do you wear contacts?
Yeah, I think it would just really ruin my like because that's not the image I'm trying to project, you know?
Sure. Speaking of images you want to project, there was a little bit of I wanted to check in with something, a topic that you have discussed openly. Thank you for sharing this topic on the podcast. There was a little bit of like just a tiny dash of like, is Austin and D a thing?
Oh.
Like a romantic thing?
Mm.
Couple like looks. And then someone else said, like, oh, I hope they like get married or whatever, but I want to
Yeah, yeah,
figure it out.
yeah. Yeah.
Danielle,
Mhm.
as you've experienced this recently, Austin and D are at a bar
Yeah.
together. They
Mhm.
order you a drink and they say,
Right.
hey, we like your vibe. What
Mhm.
do you do, Danny?
Do you think they're that kind of couple? They will be that
I
kind of
think they're
couple?
the preacher's wife who you met at the gym the other week.
I know. I see them constantly. Like, no,
And now
it's
are
not
they
like
just like
it's not like they're out of my
okay.
life. Like they're one day they might listen to this podcast, to be honest. Like they might
Yeah.
become my friends. And I'm gonna have to tell them, hey, I thought you guys were swingers when we first met. Um, what would I think? I would be so complimented. I'm like getting, I don't know, I'm getting to like an age, perhaps a maturity. I don't know,
Mhm.
where as a woman, I'm actually just very complimented. I would be so honored. I would say no. I don't think I'd be
Okay.
into it, but I think I'd be very honored. What about you?
I'd be into it.
Yeah, you would just go for
I would
it.
just go for it. Yeah.
Why not? YOLO.
Not as many people are complimenting me in public about my looks, so I gotta
It's
take
not
it where I
like
can get it.
but it's not it's like the vibe, right? It's like when you get the vibe. When I was younger, I think it's like as a young woman, you're like, oh, because you just think everyone's a creep, right? Or it's like it makes you uncomfortable. But
Yeah.
now that I'm older, I'm like, actually, I love this. I'm happy with it.
I was discussing this with friends this
Yeah.
last night as well as last weekend. How do you we're going to crazy town now. How
Yeah.
do
We
you
have to because I only watch
how do
one
you
episode.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, you can't think about something. Also D knows about I just wrote I don't know where this came from, but I just wrote the words D knows about Pokemon.
Pokimane, the live streamer, or Pokemon, the
Pokemon, gotta catch them
like
all.
Pikachu,
Pikachu.
Charizard.
Yeah, didn't she said something about Charizard in the tribal council, right?
Yeah, I think she did. Yeah, I think you're right. But it did not.
D yeah, D went from being the most attractive castaway to like the most attractive castaway like times 1,000 because
Ever.
she's like yeah, when you evolve the Bulbasaur, I'm like fuck. How do you talk? Okay, I'm going back. So you were talking about like people approaching you,
Yes.
giving you compliments,
This
but not
happens so
seeming
often.
like a creep. How do people talk to people in public? I was thinking about this last week. Like, how does a group of non creepy men
Mhm.
approach women without being creepy?
So it's a
They all
group?
have good. There's a group of guys. They're all
That's
young
your
and
first
single.
mistake.
That's the issue. They need to have women with the group. I guess that's
Yeah.
the issue. Yeah.
Yeah, it just I think it's immediately predatory if it's a group of men descending upon you like a pack.
Oh, not on a single person. I'm not saying like 4 guys are like going up to 'em.
Yeah.
I'm just like saying in general.
Yeah, I think you have to elect you have to it's like having a committee and you have to assess the pros and cons of each part of your committee. So one of them is going to be the speaker. That would I would guess I haven't met a lot of Brett's other friends, but I'm guessing you would be the charming one who would go talk to people.
I'm not the card. This made me laugh.
Oh, okay.
Joy True says, "Do not answer. Do not."
Just don't do it.
Um,
But no,
depends.
you have to
It
be able to talk to
depends.
people.
I was making some friends in the bathroom line last night.
You have to but here's the other
At
thing
the
though.
club, the
You have to
club.
elect what?
I said I was making some friends in the bathroom line last night
Oh
at
yeah,
the
the
club.
clerk.
Yeah.
I think you have to elect in your group of men, you have to elect someone who is charming and funny, but also not scary. Like
Mhm.
by that I mean not like not threatening at all.
Yeah, so you need to have like a
He's got
bard.
to be like a nice little guy.
Be a nice little guy. Yeah.
Like remember in White Lotus season 2? Um the
Maybe.
head
Maybe.
the head gay guy who's like
Oh yeah.
tiny.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
if he was nice, that's who you wanna send to, like,
If he
start the
was not trying
convo.
to kill Coolidge. Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually trying to kill Coolidge, but, if he was nice, yeah, that's the kind of like, a nice, tiny, little stylish guy.
Remember when White Lotus was a thing? Everyone was all about it.
I'm excited for it to come back. It's coming back. It'll be back.
I think next year, and when I say next year, I'm including this year as the year 2024. I do not believe it's coming back until 2025.
A lot of stuff's not coming till 2025, I got to tell you. They decided, "You know what? Push it a whole other year. Dune 2? Forget about it."
What? Dune 2 is not till 25?
Yeah,
I
I
thought it
think
was like
so.
April.
Oh, I thought 2025.
I
And
can tell
something else.
Goldie has some thoughts about
And
Season
she's
2
like
release.
3 floors below me, and yet you could hear her.
Uh,
She's feeling great, if anyone was worried.
the you know they're Wonka-ing Mean Girls?
I saw well, you sent me a tweet that was, like, describing this. Yeah, I saw but now they released a new Mean Girls that actually has music
That
trailer
has
that has
music in
music
it?
in it.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm gonna see either of them. I
Why would anyone see Wonka? It looks horrible. And
True,
who is it for? Nobody.
true.
Like, children, I guess, but, like, they don't have any connection to the the Gene Wilder movie. Do kids
Yeah.
watch that?
Yeah, yeah, kids watch that. I watched that as a child.
You're not a child. You're an adult woman. You're a middle-aged woman.
You're 40. I saw it when I was a kid, though. When I was a kid, I liked it.
But do kids now watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Yes.
Okay.
Chocolate factories are always gonna be a source of delight for children.
For kids. Do kids even like chocolate anymore? Are they like,
Oh, yeah, they love oh, yeah, they love it.
oh
They
yeah.
love it. Wait, oh, yeah, and Mean Girls. My thing about Mean Girls is, like, how am I supposed to miss you if you never go away? Mean Girls
Oh,
has never left the zeitgeist, and so
I
I'm just
watched
like
like an hour of Mean Girls last night. They have a
at the club.
commercial campaign, the entire holiday commercial campaign for Walmart
Yeah,
that is multiple different ads is the cast of Mean Girls
exactly.
minus Regina George.
Yeah, because Rachel McAdams is like, "No, I'm good."
I was in Spotlight.
Yeah.
Spotlight. I was in Spotlight. I don't need to be selling big screen TVs.
Rachel McAdams has always been so good about saying, "No, thank you." Like, "I'm good."
I'm surprised Seyfried is doing it because
I am
she's like an
too.
act. She's like did
Elizabeth
she like win an
Holmes.
Emmy for Elizabeth
Yeah.
Holmes? Chabert is probably doing like
The check.
Hallmark movies. She
The
does like
check
Hallmark
had to be
movies and
big.
shit. Yeah.
The check was juicy.
Lohan, anything to get out of house arrest, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, happy for them. They look good. They're listen, they gotta do what they gotta do.
You're
But
right.
I don't care about
You're
this
right.
movie.
You're right. I mean, exactly. Like who wants to see it again when the other one is fine?
Exactly. Yeah, it's not like the other one aged poorly. It's still really good. So,
No,
like, why?
and when Tina Fey and Tim Meadows are reprising their roles and look roughly the same,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They look better than they did. They look better. Tina Fey is goals. You know what I actually
it would
watched
be nice to be
Haunting in
rich. Yeah.
Venice,
Oh,
which she is in. She does, like, real acting in it.
oh, I know. I saw the trailer for this movie in theaters, and I'm like, is Tina Fey in a spooky Hercule Poirot movie as like the second lead? What the
Yes.
fuck? Why is Tina Fey in a movie with Kenneth Branagh? I don't know, but you saw it. Tell me about it. We're in the
And
movie review section of the
let
podcast.
me tell you, Kenneth Branagh is still can kill can still Kenneth get it.
He can. Oh yeah,
I was trying
even
to
with that
find a way to
mustache.
make that work. Um, Kenneth Branagh, I mean, famously cheated on Emma Thompson. We don't like that. Who would cheat on Emma Thompson? An idiot. But he's
Alan Rickman.
no. Oh yeah, in Love Actually.
He got what was coming to him.
Yeah, but I did enjoy it. It was beautifully shot. It's just like Kenneth Branagh just stumbled into like this fucking money pit where he's like, oh yeah, there's endless supply. Like there's all these Hercule Poirot stories. He can just keep churning this shit out. And he is such a good director. Like he's an incredible
Oh
director.
yeah.
And he's a great actor. So like, yeah, keep writing him the check so he can keep making these little slop buckets. Like it's always the same thing.
I know. I saw the trailer for this one, and I'm like, we're still doing this.
Yes.
Marvel's on the respirator. They're like bringing in a fucking preacher to read Marvel like its last rites. They're like, franchises aren't there anymore. And Kenny is out there and he's like, I'm making more detective movies.
Kenny B.
Liz Lemon is in this one.
Yeah. I mean, he cycles through all these actors, gives them a little juicy little part. I mean, it's
And didn't the
great if
second
you
one
can get it.
bomb because they were like, oh yeah,
Because Gal
what's his name?
Gadot.
Gal Gadot and Army
Oh, and Army
Hammer
Hammer.
are
Yeah.
in this. People
Gal
who
Gadot.
were liked by society when we started making this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was a flop. It was all the champagne to fill the Nile.
It's weird that we canceled Army for justifiable things,
Uh-huh.
and then we canceled Gal for being in the Imagine video.
Well, I
They're
think now
equally undesirable in Hollywood for two completely separate reasons.
well,
And
at the
that's
risk
that we
of
treat women differently.
at the risk of
That's not
running
fair.
Okay, but I think that people actually dislike her at the risk of bringing up a very fraught topic.
No, do not.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about Death of the Nile. I'm not talking about, we're not doing this here.
I would
Let's all have our
love to
jobs
not.
tomorrow, Danielle.
Yeah, exactly. I would much prefer to not. Okay.
Okay,
Let's talk about some other stuff I've watched.
good.
I have a list. Oh wait, you know what? There's two things that we both have watched. Well, I hope are you caught up on The Curse?
Oh yeah. Well, I haven't seen this weekend's episode.
Okay. So, let's all do a little intro dive onto a show called The Curse, which I don't know, is it on Showtime in the States?
It is on Showtime in the States and
It's
whatever packages that it's associated with.
it's Nathan Fielder, Emma Stone, Benny Safdie, and the like log line was like a home improvement couple filming an HGTV-esque show like gets cursed or something like that.
Yeah.
This show is so interesting. It's very intriguing, is what I would say. It's not the comfiest show to watch. My husband was saying he looked at like audience reviews of it on Rotten Tomatoes, and apparently it's at like 20%. Like, it's like
People
people
are
hate
stupid.
it. Yeah.
People are stupid. People want to watch A Haunting in Venice. People want to watch the
Yeah.
Poirot this shit. The Curse is good. The Curse is really good. The Curse is one of the most cutting, like, oh my gosh. The Curse is one of the most, it's a
Joy, we're laughing at
cutting,
your comment.
cutting, like, satires of like progressive millennialism, like progressive values that I've ever seen, of just
Yeah,
like let's try and like gentrify, like stop gentrifying a community by gentrifying it with like a coffee shop, and like this
yeah.
kind of like millennial chic aesthetic of like a locally sourced coffee, and like we're like rehabilitating like the community, like saying the word community a lot but
And
like not really knowing what it
sustainability.
means.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is like, this is gonna make you, like, if you think you're like a little, you support these ideas, you're gonna be like, I'm an
I
idiot. I'm an idiot.
Yeah. I do actually think it is. I think it might be a little before its time in that I think we're going to go back and think of this show and be like, "Oh, it reminds me of The Curse in this way." For a
Yeah.
lot of shift in culture. Like I think the show is at the very beginning of this culture and it's like cuz Nathan Fielder is so smart, Benny Safdie's really smart. Emma Stone is so good in this show. She's an exec producer too. I don't
She's
think she
smart
wrote it.
too.
Yeah, I know. She's smart too. I love Emma Stone. But she's great in it. But yeah, I think it's like as we evolve culturally more and we look back on like the things that millennials probably were like at first in good faith, but as we look at it more critically, we're going to be like, "Oh yeah, it's like The Curse." That's what I think. I
Yeah.
think it's very smart.
Yeah. I mean, this is like, I think a very savage critique of like millennial values and stuff. And it's
Mhm.
interesting now because it's like, even we talked about Mean Girls, is like Mean Girls is like a very millennial like high school movie. It came out while you and I were in high school.
Yeah.
I think it's, one of these movies, like Mean Girls and Orange County, I think are like the two most like accurate movies about like high school
I
life,
have
like
not
relating to like
seen Orange County.
exactly. Orange County is great. You
Tom
also did not
Green?
go to high school with, no, that was with Colin Hanks and Jack Black.
Isn't Tom Green in it?
No, I think that's Freddie Got Fingered,
Oh, okay.
which is not a good movie. Um,
Okay.
anyways, like I think as the generation gets older and is in different stages of their life, this is about these home flipper people who are trying to have a kid, and they're also trying to like flip homes sustainably and like reinvigorate like a poorer neighborhood in New Mexico and stuff. And I, I think it is just like a really brutal critique of like these kinds of values and aesthetics that are now like, now that this generation is in their like mid 30s, early 40s or whatever, and their priorities have shifted to buying homes and having children and stuff. It more so than any article about like millennials eat too much avocado toast. Watch the fucking curse, and you're gonna be like, man, like these people are completely fucked, and like
They got us.
they
Like
got
they
us
got our
good, they got
asses.
us good,
Yeah.
they got us bad, and they got us good.
Yeah, it's just a very like it's a show where you're just not like it keeps me on my toes. I'm not sure where it's going next. There's like this sense of sort of dread and like discomfort while watching it that I really like.
Yeah,
Um
and there's this element of what's so great about it is that it really is a this great combination of like the three talents that are there. You have Safdie, who's such a good filmmaker and can make something, to your point, really have this sense of dread, even if it's just people standing in a parking lot talking to each other. You're like,
mhm.
oh my God. Or people driving in a car together. Oh my God. There's this scene where Safdie's character is on a date with
Oh
this
my gosh.
woman, and he sort of reveals in the date that he's like been arrested for having a DUI, and he's driving her home, and he is like breathalyzing himself as he's driving and realizing that he's over the limit, but he's like trying to play it off in a cool and like responsible way. It's horrifying. It's amazing.
It's really
Uh,
good, yeah.
and Emma Stone is obviously like top actress of her generation.
She really is. She really
And then
is.
you have Fielder, who's like so good at at interacting with non-actors, because like that's what his previous shows have been about. He's really excels at that. And what's so great about the show is, other than these three, and I think Corbin Burnson plays her father, he's only been in one episode so far, there's just a lot of like regular ass people in there, and that's
Mhm.
what's also
Well,
kind
there's
of funny about
also the guy who
it.
plays the little girl's dad is I'm the captain now.
Oh, that's the I'm the captain now. I mean, okay, well, I've only seen the first two episodes. He's like
Oscar
barely.
nominee.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, I'm the captain. The captain from the I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
And there's a sequence in the second one where, in the second episode, where Fielder has to, he's like kind of like he's like trying to like hack into someone's computer, and he has to do it in the most awkward way possible, and it's almost kind of filmed almost like security camera style. Of It's really reminiscent of some of the bits he does on The Rehearsal and on Nathan For You, but we've now ported it into an actual like prestige drama dressing and in the
Yeah.
plot of a prestige drama fictional show. And that works out well too, because this guy is such a weirdo, and it shows you the lengths to which he would go to do some of the things that he's trying to do. I love it. I love this show a lot. It's obviously it's not for the regular people. It's not for regular people. This
For
is
special people.
it's for smart people.
It's so good. Okay, the other thing that we both watched, speaking of stuff for special people, is a film by a very special director, David Fincher. He said, "Out with the Mank, in with the killer," starring Michael Fassbender, available to watch on Netflix. Did you love?
I did. I thought this movie was great.
So, in a nutshell, this movie's about Michael Fassbender plays a contract killer. And I mean, I don't think it's too spoilery to say like he has a kill go wrong and then he has to go kind of like on a revenge spree. But he's like a very thoughtful. I mean, so much of this movie depends on voiceover, which is a tough thing for a movie to depend on, but he kills it. He does a great job.
Yeah, well, it's good. It's good voiceover. The voiceover usually is like bad because it's just like a person saying like what we're seeing in the movie or
Mhm.
whatever, or just like saying the voiceover in this film is like kind of ridiculous and kind of like non sequiturs to what is happening in the film, and you get into a groove with it, especially like the first 20 minutes of this movie is like all voiceover while he's just doing other stuff. And it's
Mhm.
just like, it's like there's like a rhythm to it. There's a drip to it where he just like, he says a fact about the world, and then he says another thing. And he's like
He's
doing yoga in the middle, and he's like going to McDonald's, or he's like stalking the person that he's trying to, kill on his contract. Uh, and all of these things are like, what's so silly about this movie is like 75% of it is Cool Shit with Michael Fassbender VO of him just like saying things that would be in a Fight Club movie or like in Fight
Yeah.
Club, just like fucked up fact about the world.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, this is kind of stupid, but honestly, I'm kind of just like really in a rhythm with this.
It's a
And it's like,
vibe.
it's a vibe. It's really
Yeah.
good. And it's just, it's short and sweet and like it gets to the point. And uh I really liked it. I've been thinking about it a lot. I don't know kind of what to do with it in my mind, just because so much of this movie is just like this guy just like reading these kind of like or just saying these sort of like Jordan Peterson-esque facts about the
Mhm.
world of like you gotta go and kill him, and not everyone's strong enough to be a man in this world,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of stuff like that. And I don't know, but it works though. It's so good.
It worked. No, it's so good, and, yeah, I don't know if there's, like, that much more to it, or maybe there will. It's sort of maybe it is like the curse where, like, I'll look back and I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, it reminds me of The Killer." You know, it's not like Social Network. It's not like Gone Girl. Like, it's not top Fincher for me, but it was like it felt like a return to form after Mank.
I mean, those movies are these really, really like complexly wound dramas that have like a lot of stuff going on in them. And this is truly
Simple.
truly a character study.
Yeah.
Like you're spend 80% of this movie just like this guy just like saying things to you about his worldview through the narration while he kind of just like sits in cars and like waits for people to get
And wears
home.
bucket hats.
And where's oh my god,
And little zip ups. Yeah.
my my really close friend Tessa explained this to me last night, which is that this is only the second movie. It makes sense. This is only the second Fincher movie that's for boys, and all these
Mm.
and it's for boys. You can like it,
What's Mank?
obviously. She has not seen Mank. I explained to
Okay.
her last night at the bar. I was
What
like,
about the
Mank is
game?
Mank is dank. All of these movies are for girls, including Fight
The
Club is the
game?
most for girls, except for Seven. Seven is a boys movie, and this is a boys movie. It's just
What about
boy
Zodiac?
facts. Mm, I don't know. I'm gonna invest. I gotta
I
text her.
think this theory
I gotta
it
text my
needs a
friend
little
and be
more,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I need a full breakdown. Maybe that'll be a podcast. Maybe next time.
Yeah, have her on.
Maybe yeah, I'll have her. Yeah, now I won't have you on.
I'm cut?
Yeah,
Wow. The real killer was Brett all along.
I
Holy
really liked it.
moly.
I
Yeah.
mean, and it's also like 145 or something like that. Hell yeah, it's on Netflix. Go
Yeah,
watch it.
it's tight.
I saw another movie.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk?
No, you talk.
I saw Dream Scenario with the God Nicolas Cage.
I've been seeing so many ads for this.
I won't talk about much about it other than it was really good. I really liked it. I thought it was excellent. I think playing a schlub is actually one of Cage's greatest strengths, and that he should not be required to be doing like wacky stuff all the time. Like I think when he plays kind of like awkward, schlubby, Charlie Kaufman-esque characters. I just mainly mean this because Adaptation is one of my
Right.
favorite movies. It's kind of like a return to his form and an adaptation for him. But he also gets to do a bunch of weird stuff because there's all this kind of like there's all these like dream sequences in the film where he gets to do weird Cage stuff, and then he gets to do like subtle, grounded Cage stuff. I think it's like the best use of him as an actor. Like it understands both sides of him very well. I kind of think this movie is gonna kind of like come and go and be forgotten, but I'm like, this is the Cage performance. Like I think he should be nominated for an
That's
Oscar.
the
An
thing about
Oscar for this film.
but all of his his recent movies feel that way, where it's like they come and everyone's like, "Wow, this is a great Cage performance. This is such a unique film. He's working with like this indie director. It's probably A24 or A24 adjacent."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's and then they go and it's just like he just does so many of them. It's kind of hard to keep track. That's why even though I keep getting inundated with ads for this one, I'm sort of like, "What's the difference between this and Pig?" What's the difference between this and the one with our girl? What's her name? The girl from Dear Leslie. What's her name? That actress.
Oh gosh, she's in everything. She's
Uh,
unrecognizable in anything.
Julie. I think her name is Julie.
From
Anyway.
Leslie? No. No, Annalise
No.
Scarborough.
Yeah, Scarborough. Julie Scarborough. Wait, speaking of Julie, I watched this movie called The Royal Hotel with Julia Garner. And you know
You
Julia
love Julie.
Garner?
Andrea Riseborough.
Andrea Riseborough. Julie Scarborough.
And Julie was not right. What did you watch?
This movie called The Royal Hotel with Julia Garner. Do you know Julia Garner?
Oh, do I ever know Julia Garner?
She is
Julia
so
Garner,
fab.
she is. Julia Garner she's one of the lead, she's like the third lead of Ozark, a show which is good, not great, and she has a very wild accent in it.
Well,
Julia Garner is in 2 seasons, I believe, of The Americans, and she's incredible. She is so good. And I just gotta say, Americans. I actually started rewatching The Americans like the other day. The Americans is one of my favorite shows, and she is so good. And she's like quite young in it, and like that's the point because they're like these spies who have to Reese, Matthew Reese, and what's her face,
Carrie Russell.
Harry Russell. Talk about, hey, we like your vibe across the bar. Sign me up.
Yeah, in Brooklyn.
They're they're these spies, and they have to kind of do a lot of things to like do their spy work, and a lot of it is like seducing other people.
Mm.
And there's like a 2-season arc of this show where Matthew Reese has to like seduce Julia Garner, but she's like 15 in it. And
Oh,
she's like the same age as his daughter. And so like that's kind of the thing that's going on is like he has to do this for his mission. But like at the
oh,
end of the
his
night, he like
daughter.
comes home and he like has a daughter that's like the same age as the
That's so
person
funny.
that he has like this kind of semi-romantic relationship with.
I
And she
love
is
the writer who
amazing.
thought that up.
Garner is incredible as this young girl.
I
Anyway.
love when writers are like, "Oh yeah, it's just he has to do it. He's got to hook up with this hot 16-year-old. It's his mission. He
Yeah.
has to." Like it's like did you ever see The Age of Adeline? I love whoever wrote
No.
that too. It's like, "Oh, she just has this huge problem. She stays young and hot forever." It's like so tough. It's so hard. Well, anyway, this movie The
Mine is
Royal
good though.
Hotel. Pardon?
Mine is good though.
What's yours?
The Americans.
Oh, yeah, the Americans, yeah. I watched the first season, I didn't continue after that. But anyway, Julia Garner, is she Russian in The Americans?
No, she's American.
Oh, she's American. Do you know what she is actually in real life?
British?
Wouldn't you think?
Because she's so good at acting.
Yeah, or you'd
I
think
think she's
maybe she's
American.
Australian. She's
Isn't she
American.
American? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Well, you
I
got me
thought that was
confused. She's like,
shocking.
do you know who she is? I'm like, well, she must be British now, I guess.
But I thought for sure she was British. And then I was like, well, maybe she's Australian because this movie, The Royal Hotel, is set in like the outback. And so I thought, oh, she's like doing one for the country. This is like Australian content,
Jacob
whatever.
Elordi.
Yeah, but she is, yeah, exactly. She's friends with him. She is so American. She is such a great actor. Like, I don't think usually actors who are American aren't that good. She's really so good. She's one to watch out for.
She's been around.
I know, but I
You
just
can't
think
watch
she still
out. She's
needs
here. The call is coming from inside the house.
she needs like one more she needs like a big breakthrough. Um I watched the first episode of Murder at the End of the World.
Oh yeah,
Have
how was
you
that? I want to watch it. I haven't gotten to it yet.
Are you familiar with Britt
I
Marlowe?
have not watched the OA, and I will not
Okay.
watch the OA.
Okay. I couldn't tell if like maybe Britt was like a Bretty All-Star or not because
Yeah, it's like really. I know exactly where you're going with this and
yeah.
like what you're trying to describe. It's really borderline for me, and maybe I should watch the OA, but like between like a young, attractive like theater artiste, it's like
Yes.
either like Bretty All Star, Bretty's in love with her, or like Bretty thinks it's like totally
It's a bit
Like,
much.
it's a bit much, yeah.
Well, so that's the thing. If people aren't aware, Britt Marling was like much like Emily on Survivor, a financial analyst. Like she was like big in the like investment banker
Oh,
world.
shit.
And then she decided, you know what? I'm a fucking artist and I'm gorgeous. So I'm going to go write a movie and then have it get made. And because she is gorgeous and brilliant, people were like, yeah, give her money. Like let her make all these movies. Everything she does is slow as hell and involves like sort of sci-fi in a way. Like she had this one movie that I saw called Another Earth, which is basically exactly as the title is. There's another Earth and you can go there. Like you can like win a trip
I
to go to
wanted to
another
see
Earth.
that movie. I never saw it, yeah.
It's great. It's great. And it stars also Tom Cruise's cousin. But he's like the male lead, Tom Cruise's cousin. It's really good. But then she had the OA, she had like these other movies. And she always is in them as sort of like a cultish leader or like a damaged soul. She's a good actress. But this movie, this new show, A Murder at the End of the World, is just like so boring, which is Britt Marling's thing. Her thing is like it's boring and then something weird happens, but the weird thing didn't happen yet in the pilot, and so you're kind of like,
Did the
come on,
murder
Britt.
not happen?
No, the murder happens, but like the
Okay.
murder's not that
You're not at
interesting.
the end of the world yet?
No, you're in the end of the world.
Okay, so what's your fucking problem, Danielle?
And it also the male lead in it is Clive Owen,
5.
and we needed more
5.
Clive. Let me just tell
Oh,
you.
yeah. Oh,
Clive
yeah.
and Britt are married in it. But so yeah, Britt, I respect her. I love that she's just like out there. People just keep giving her money and are like, yeah, sure. Make another show for us. I love it. So I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna watch the second episode. It's a little too boring.
There was a lot. I heard there was a lot of interpretive dance in the OA, and
There
I was
is.
in doing in such. I was not interested. Can I just be honest?
Mhm.
Can I be honest on my own podcast?
If not here, where?
Where? Yeah. I love the arts. I love the arts.
Mm.
I go see the arts. I go see
You
performing
support
arts.
the arts.
I support the arts. I am an artist, as you guys are consuming. This is my art right now. It is wild because I love the arts. I support the arts. I go to see live theater. I wanted to go see. I mean, I still can. I'm signing up on the app to see Inherit the Wind, starring Alfred Molina at the Pasadena Playhouse.
Mm.
The
Also
arts.
known as Octopussy from Spider-Man. What's that guy's name in Spider-Man?
Oh, Dr. Octopus.
Yeah.
Philip G says Blue Man Group does not count. This is a separate fucking thing. Blue Man Group is incredible. I've seen Blue Man
No,
Group
it's so good.
multiple times. Blue Man Group is so good. If you shit on the Blue Man Group, Philip G, I just know you're a hater and you've never seen the Blue Man Group other than like they do like funny commercials or whatever. The
Yeah.
Blue Man Group live show is incredible.
I've seen
It's
it twice.
incredible. Yeah.
Speaking of,
yeah.
really quick, speaking of people who've given me the look, listen, the Blue Man Group wanted me for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You got the blue kiss on the cheek and in the after show when they take
If
pictures
I
with
wanted
everybody.
I could have. Exactly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, all this being said, I'm a consumer of the arts. I pay money to see them. Dance sucks.
No.
Dance sucks. Like dancing is fine if there's like good choreography like in a musical or in something, great. But like a dance alone
Mm-hmm.
it sucks. It's like
It depends.
boring, and it's like I just don't feel anything, and like people think so much about like this like
Movement of
choreography
the body. Yeah.
and they're just like, oh my heart or like whatever. It's just like Jesus Christ, like this is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You can move your body like that, great. You want to dance in West Side Story, you want to have a big tap dance number and anything goes and it's good. Moulin Rouge, good.
Yeah.
But like a dance recital, like a ballet thing,
Yeah.
no.
Not for Brett.
I saw some dance thing and like, sorry, police are driving by. Oh, maybe they're coming to arrest me.
They said Brett is against dance. Get him.
I saw some dance ballet thing, like very big, theater or whatever. Came to LA. Person I was with was like crying at the end because of how beautiful and touching it was. And I was just like, I just saw people dancing. Like,
Yeah. You said
Whatever.
whatever. Whatever.
Whatever.
You said, let's go get a hot dog. Whatever. I'm hungry. You wanted to leave at intermission.
Oh my god. I
No,
wanted to leave
I'm
for
kind of similar, except if the music, like I love a classic ballet. I love a little Nutcracker. I love a little Swan Lake. There's nothing
White
wrong with that.
Swan, Black Swan.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
Name one other ballet.
Giselle.
That's not real.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Yeah, those are the classics. So what? So what? I would never say I'm a connoisseur. I'm not. But I do think it's amazing. And I think it's like athletic. They're athletes.
I'm not
Just like
saying that
us.
they're not talented. Like,
No,
obviously,
of
they're
course.
incredibly talented.
Yeah.
I could never do that, but I just don't think it's like an interesting art form in the slightest. I think if if it's a musical or whatever, and there's a good dance number, that's
Yeah.
great.
Same.
But just with nothing else, like just you can't tell me this is like really worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I was a theater major. I was a theater
Yeah.
major in college, and we had a theater and dance department. And I was in the same department as and literally half of the people were working on theater, but probably more than half were working on theater, plays, stuff like that, drama, people relating to each other, writing, directing, staging, lighting, sound, this. And the other people were just like
Hopping around.
hopping around. And it's like, I could be so close to you.
Yeah.
I share the same exact passion with you. Yet the thing you do, I think is completely worthless.
Mm. Well, on that note, Philip G asks, y'all, I think I hear the jingle jangling of reindeer games coming. Can you hear it? I do hear it. It's right down Santa Claus Lane.
It's
I'm
in
going to give it a
December.
try.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
go
well,
give it a
December
shot.
is this week. December is
Yeah.
this week. I think we should look at some other questions and comments.
Yeah, we have a bunch. What kind of, from 306 in Discord, what kind of things would be in the Hey Julie auction? Personally, I'd go in for a parking lot ghost kitchen Wendy's Baconator with Ding Dong Dani.
Well, you're in luck. That's the only way you can get Wendy's in Canada. So yeah.
Yeah. Like the 306 things we're auctioning off like experiences
Yeah.
with us. That's rich.
What would other experiences be? Definitely not going to the ballet with Brett.
That would be a good one because you could hear me bitch about it during intermission.
Yeah, live bitching. That would be an experience for both of us. A bag of Lay's to put the chips on your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are other that's a really good question.
Yeah, we don't have lots of props. I was thinking this could be more like props, but
props. You could
we got prop
a link to buy the same ring light that Brett suggested I buy for my camera.
Or the Eero Wi-Fi extender for the bathroom. How's it working up there?
Well, don't you think it's working great?
I think everything's working great. I had a sense, Danielle, and we can talk this out. Were you a little bit grumpy that I made you buy like a $300 Wi-Fi boosting thing? And then I made you smuggle it across international borders?
I wasn't grumpy about buying it because ultimately I do want to have good internet up here.
Yeah.
So I wasn't grumpy about that. I was more grumpy about I was grumpy at the situation of my internet not being good up here in the first place because I specifically had I think anyone would be grumpy if you specifically had the fucking Wi-Fi guy over to set up the whole Wi-Fi system specifically for the internet to be good up here, and then it didn't work.
It didn't. It wasn't.
That made me very grumpy.
That's a grumpy experience.
Yeah. So I'm sorry if you caught a stray from that grumpiness.
Well, I just was like, then I was calling your office the bathroom and all this stuff. I didn't think I was personally helping. I was adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah, you were.
Pisky says, warning, AmeriCorps. Question for Brett. Cranberry sauce, chunky or smooth? Which shall christen the table?
AmeriCorps.
I got a hot answer for you. Fucking neither.
I don't like cranberry sauce either.
I don't know. I guess chunky. I guess actual stuff, not the canned stuff. But I don't know. I don't want either. I had lobster on Thanksgiving. I went out to a restaurant and I had lobster and French fries for dinner.
Yummy.
I didn't have to eat stuffing or cranberry sauce or green bean casserole, gross other stuff. The Raiders have class. And we say, we're not eating turkey for dinner. What are we? Turkeys? We don't eat turkeys. You're a turkey, not us. We go get steak
We're
or
lobsters.
lobster. So I don't know. I don't fuck around with like stupid sides or whatever. I would love some mac and cheese. I really want mac and cheese. We did not get mac and cheese at the table. I was gutted about that.
That's a good pairing with lobster too.
Oh,
So you really
oh
missed
yeah.
out.
They had a lobster mac and cheese on. I could have just ordered that.
Well, no, that's a waste of money. That's such a scam. That's such a scam. Jump for Joy says, "Will you be watching Squid Game: The Challenge?" Not gonna lie, the original show is my comfort show. So I'm really glad that's from Jump for Joy. I'm really glad Pizkey said Squid Game is a comfort show because that was my exact reaction to this question as well. That is such a funny comfort show to have. It's so comforting to watch people lose their
Die.
lives.
Yeah, no, I didn't really care for the original show. Like I don't know. Like I got like 3 or 4 episodes in and I'm like, "Oh, cool." So like
Yeah, I think we talked about it.
they get to the end of the episode and like they do another Squid Game and half of the people die. I kind of just got it and I wasn't really super compelled by it at all. I'm glad people liked it. I'm glad people are, expanding their horizons, watching international cinema and television, and like there's a lot of great stuff coming out of Korea for movies and stuff. Like I'm glad people are taking in that and feeling more comfortable watching something that's like full of subtitles or whatever. But I didn't personally think it was like that great of a show. So I will not be watching Squid Game: The Challenge.
I feel
Except
the
for
way about Squid Game: The Challenge the way I currently feel about Survivor, which is that
it's a show that is on.
I just like have so little time to watch a show. Am I really going to spend it watching Squid Game: The Challenge? Unless it's the reason I watched the Squid Game, not the challenge, is because so many people were talking about it. It felt like a cultural zeitgeisty event.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to watch this. I feel that way about things. So unless Squid Game: The Challenge becomes a show like that, I think it's a pass for old Ding Dong Danny.
Yeah. No, it's a hard pass for old Ding Dong Brady as well. Lexi with a latte. I finally hopped over to the Discord. We'll read your questions. The new user, you get one free question.
Wait, where's that?
That's a little bit further up. Have you seen The Fall of the House of Usher? And if so, thoughts? I honestly thought it was a documentary of sorts on Usher. It is not. Haha, I enjoyed it. I have not.
That's really cute.
I have not seen it. I know it is not about the multi-hyphenate singer, dancer, actor, producer.
Super Bowl
halftime
performer,
headliner, Usher.
Mm.
No, I haven't.
I haven't watched it either. We discussed it a little bit when we were talking about Usher. I don't remember when we were, but we were. No, because I don't really like what's his name? Mike Lee? Whatever that guy's name is.
Yeah.
Mike's shows. I tried watching we watched Haunting on Hill House, and I was just like, this is way too many fucking monologues. Every episode has at least 18 long character monologues where the camera just very slowly zooms in on the person delivering it. And at a certain point, I'm like, all right, that's this guy's trick. Some people really like this. It is not
Mike
for me.
Flanagan.
Mikey Flanagan, exactly. It's just not for me.
Scarborough.
By the way, I love her. I think she's great.
I love her. She's great. Don't know who she is.
Really quick, I'm just gonna list off the other things I've been watching. Okay. Gilded Age season 2, The Crown, and season 3 and 4 of The Sopranos.
Oh, I'm on season 4. I'm rewatching season 4 right now too.
There's something about Thanksgiving. I'm always like, let's watch the Thanksgiving episode of Sopranos.
Which one is that?
That's season 3. It's like where Jackie and Meadow first start like
dating. Oh yeah.
It's so good.
Have you heard my theory, my internal theory, my overarching Sopranos theory?
No.
It's not a theory. It's just an observation.
Tell me.
Every season, one guy, he's got to go.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, that checks
Every
out.
season, there's like a one guy you're like, oh god, man, they gots to get rid of this guy. He's gots
Mhm.
to go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's true in life too.
Yeah,
Sometimes there's people in your life who's just gots to go.
yeah. Christopher,
Christopher, Paulie. Well, no, not Paulie.
not
Big
Paulie.
Pussy.
Paulie's got to go. Yes, because he's got to go.
um, the other, the other,
Richie,
the other Tony,
Jackie. You think in season 3 it's Richie's gots to go, and you're like, actually, Jackie's gots to go.
Jackie, and the other Tony. If you know,
Oh yeah, the other Tony.
I guess we're really spoiling this for people who haven't seen it.
For a
But
20-year-old television show. Jesus Christ.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening, for being here with us. We really appreciate it. Send in your questions. Join our Discord, the Hey Julie Discord. I guess we're still a podcast about Survivor,
Well, I'm
but
gonna
we'll
keep
have other
watching it.
things to
Maybe, well,
discuss because
maybe
it
like
is.
I think maybe after the BB25 ended, you and I had a lot going on. Obviously, like need a little bit of a break and unplug from the stuff. But now you've had your time away. You've realized your mistake. You're begging forgiveness, and now you'll get back into this final stretch of Survivor.
How many episodes are left? Probably not that
I
many,
don't
right?
know. Probably like yeah. I don't know. Oh, let me see. I have um 10. Oh, there's probably only one, two. There's probably only 4 episodes left because the 10th episode is on next week. 10.
I
There's usually
suppose I can
13.
commit to that.
Usually 13.
What I
So
really,
yeah.
what I think we need, Brett, I think we need another show like Inside Man that we can watch and
Oh
discuss.
my god.
That's like my favorite show we've ever
What
talked
did we
about.
say we were gonna watch? Like a couple
I don't
weeks
know.
ago, we said we were gonna watch something when like everything was over.
I don't remember. Can
No
our
idea.
listeners tell us?
No idea. Julie Scarborough.
Thank you all so
Mike
much.
Lee.
Mike Lee actually is like a big time
He
director.
is a guy, yeah. Everyone's name, like every British guy.
All right. Thank you all so much for listening. We will talk to you later. See you on the Discord. Sorry that we've been away and that I didn't watch any Survivor. We will talk to you later. Bye, Jeffy.
Bye, Jeffy.